She slowly brought her finger up to her lips. Shh. Just find me. She looked so terrifying that it sent a shiver down my spine. I tried to run, but the door slammed in my face. This is a sus story brought to you by the Sus Box. Drop us a like if you dare. It was Friday evening. I was playing hide and seek with my best friend Charles and some other kids from the neighborhood. Dusk was falling and the sun was setting down. The light was half faded already, but it was not dark yet. The rules were simple. We had to hide within the range of 10 meters without being caught. Whenever we used to play hide and seek, we played in the nature preserve park near our house so that we could have a lot of open space to play and could use the property places as well, since the houses nearby belonged to each of us, except for that one abandoned house. It had been uninhabited for decades. I ran to that house. The backyard gate was broken and the entrance door was open, so I ran straight into that building. There was still furniture inside and things like books, some clothes and dishes were scattered over that dusty floor. I looked around for a while and then ran upstairs, which led me to a room with a small wooden closet where I could hide. I quickly stepped inside and somehow managed to shut the door. I crouched down to my knees and waited for seekers. Some time passed, but there was no sign of my seeker, as it was the most unexpected place to hide. I knew nobody would ever think that I could be here. After waiting for 30 more minutes, I gave up then and decided to leave, as it was getting dark and dark when I heard a very unfamiliar, soft but creepy voice. Play with me. I turned back, sent a chill to my spine, and my heart skipped a beat when I saw a girl standing behind me. She was my age or maybe younger. Her face was covered with hair, her skin was extremely pale. She was wearing an old white nightgown torn apart from various places. She was staring at me with her emotionless face and darker eyes without blinking them for once. Color faded from my face and I broke a cold sweat because I didn't hear her coming or sense her presence while hiding. I remained still for a moment and then hesitatingly asked, "Who are you?" Her facial expressions changed. She seemed furious and indigent. She slowly brought her finger up to her lips. Shh. Just find me. She looked so terrifying that it sent a shiver down my spine. I tried to run, but the door slammed in my face. I got one last glimpse of her sinister eyes before everything went black. I awoke to the sound of footsteps advancing toward me. "John, is that you?" It was my sister Anna. Soon I realized that I was not in that abandoned building, but in my own backyard. Everyone was worried sick for me as I wasn't home till midnight. Charles had told my family that I had just disappeared. Everyone demanded to know where I had been. However, I didn't tell anyone about what happened because I knew no one would ever believe me. The next night I was lying on my bed trying to sleep when I heard some footsteps running down the hall. I thought it might be my sister who would be back from her job, but it was strange that I could still hear that sound as if someone was running wildly. "Anna!" No one responded. There was a brief period of silence. Then again footsteps. So I got up and headed toward the hallway to check. The area was dark, with only one dim light on. I looked around. It was then that a familiar whispering voice strikes my ears. "Come find me." I recognized it right away. It was the same voice. Instantly, I looked up the stairs where I saw a shadowy figure of that girl again. I froze in place. My whole body started to tremble out of horror. I wanted to scream, but I felt like someone had sealed my mouth. It was then that she put her index finger over her mouth and spoke. "Shh. Now it's my turn to hide." I was reawakened when hearing the main door open. I blinked my eyes several times looking between the stairs and the main door. That shadowy girl was gone. It was Anna. "Hey, what's up?" "Nothing." And without saying another word, I left for my room. Since then, I felt I'm being watched all the time. The next few days went normal until I started having those dreams. Whenever I fell asleep, I always found myself in the same nightmare where I'm hiding in the closet and I heard a raspy breathing behind me in the dark closet and felt hot breath against the nape of my neck. I run rashly out of the closet while that girl chases me and finally caught by her. She stood only inches from me, crying blood. She has a knife in her hand and she's gaining on me. I woke up with these words every time. "Come play with me." I avoided my room for the next several nights, finding any reason I could to stay up well past my bedtime. Although I feared coming across her while I was alone, as I had seen her many times in my school and in dark places, watching me from a distance. It somehow felt safer than meeting her in my dream. Everything started to seem normal. I hadn't seen her for weeks. I started to sleep back in my room considering the fact that she was gone. But what I saw the other night in my dream was the scariest of all. I woke up back in the old dusty room of that abandoned house, with an open closet where I was hiding before. I felt a rush of fear again. After some time, the room's door swung open, with the same girl running in. This time, she was crying and looking around with fear in her eyes. She didn't bother looking at me as if I did not exist. Then she ran inside the closet and looked at me, placing her tiny index finger on her lips while saying, "Shh." I felt my spirit sink. Soon after shutting the closet door, I saw a tall old man coming into the room furiously, searching around the room. I tried to talk to him, but he didn't respond, as if he hadn't heard me. Then he shouted, "Come out! You can't hide from me! I'll find you!" After that, he took off and left in frustration. I did not understand what was happening. As I moved forward to open the closet, everything around me shifted at once, and now I was downstairs in the center of the hallway. The sound of a cry and sob hit my ears. When I turned, that little girl was lying on the floor with a tall man standing over her. She was looking with fear in her eyes. It was evident from her face that she was utterly terrified of that man. "Let's play a game, sweetie. It's called the quiet game," the man said in the creepiest sound possible. My eyes darkened in worry. I knew the reason why she was hiding. I wanted to help her, so I shouted at him, "Hey, get away! Leave her alone!" It didn't work as before, but that girl started to look at me with her teary eyes full of sadness and terror. My body stiffened. I felt as if I couldn't breathe. I think I'll never forget the way that man said his last word, pointing his finger over his lips while looking at her with cold eyes. "Shh." I jolted from my sleep. I took a hot, impatient breath. Fear rushed over me. I tried to stabilize my breathing. That was the last day I saw that little girl. But that incident still haunts me. I knew she was trying to tell me her story, and so I looked for every possible way to find out anything about that missing girl. Turns out that abandoned house belonged to that man who used to live there with his little girl. One day his daughter went missing, and after some time he left the place claiming that the spirit of his daughter was haunting him. To this day, I could still feel her presence everywhere around me. Thank you for watching. Let's put this story back in our box before it gets too far. Drop us a like for more sus stories delivered directly to you. Be sure to check out our other videos. Until then, goodbye.